this time, we'll call to order the Tuesday, September the 2nd, 2014 regular scheduled meeting of the Davie County Board of Education. I will ask for a motion to adopt the agenda at this time. I have a motion by Mr. Drexler. I have a second. I have a second by Ms. Horn. All in favor? Signify by. Motion carries 7-0. At this time, moving on, we'll be going into closed session, and I will ask for a motion to go into closed session to preserve the attorney-client privilege pursuant to the North Carolina General Statutes listed on our agenda, to discuss personnel matters protected by state law, and to discuss student matters made confidential by general statutes and FERPA. Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Ms. Owens. Do I have a second? I have a second by Mr. Junker. All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. We're now in closed session. At this time, we'd like to reconvene our September 2nd, 2014 regular scheduled meeting of the Davie County Board of Education and welcome you for coming. I will, if you would, please join with me as we have the invocation. As we gather this evening, I express thanks for this day and all of its blessings. I ask this board to be mindful of the business we are about to undertake. We are thankful for everyone in attendance tonight. Further, we are thankful for the opportunity to govern and the freedoms we enjoy. We pause to remember the students, faculty members, and families in our system and community who are facing challenges. Our positive thoughts are with them. As always, we seek wisdom to make the best decisions for the students and citizens of Davie County. Amen. At this time, we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance, and I think we have Girl Scout Troop 2147 from First United Methodist Church to lead us in that.
This is Girl Scout 2147. My name's Kelly Funderburg. We've got 17 in our troop, and we've got a good representation tonight from our Brownie troop. So I'm going to let them say the pledge.
Ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Girl Scout Troop. That was wonderful. We appreciate your help with that. At this time, we're moving on to approval of minutes from our August 12th meeting. Do we have a motion? We have a motion by Mr. Drexler. Do we have a second? We have a second by Ms. Livengood. All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. At this point, we're moving on to important dates, and I'll point out a few of those. Let's see. On September the 18th, the board will be at lunch. We'll have lunch at Canancer Elementary. We always enjoy those trips. September the 24th, there is a North Carolina School Board Association District 7 meeting in Elkin. And let's see, I'll point out also the Commissioners, Davie County Board of Commissioners meeting will be October the 6th. That'll be their next meeting. They're also meeting tonight. Our next meeting will be here the 7th at 6 p.m. Then we have a fall law conference in October 15th through the 17th. So I guess that's about all I'll point out tonight. And at this point, I will turn it over to Dr. Hartness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everyone. It's good to have everyone out tonight for our board meeting. Our school year is off to an excellent start. Our architects are here tonight to give us an update on our project, our big project. We had bids accepted last Thursday, so we're very excited about that, and you'll hear some more information about that this evening. Let me get my corrected document here. If you guys will just bear with me one moment. I want to give you an update on our enrollment. Today is day 6 of the 2014-15 school year. We have 6,347 students enrolled today. Just as a comparison, we had 6,405 last year on the 6th day. Our elementary school population, we're up 6 students from the 6th day last year and 12 students more than we had last year in kindergarten on this day. Our middle school enrollment is down by 67 students, so we have a bubble going through right now. And Davie High School is up 10 students at 1,796, so overall, we have fairly consistent enrollment. We're about 1% change from where we were at this point in time last school year, so pretty consistent. Just want to let you know also, my update is pretty short tonight. The State Board of Education will be meeting later this week, and at their meeting, they have several things to approve, 2 of which is the cohort graduation rate, as well as the accountability results for this past year. So I anticipate that next month, Ms. Foyle will be bringing you a more comprehensive report on both of those topics. As soon as the State Board of Education releases that data later this week, we'll probably have a press release that goes out about our cohort graduation rate. I think that you all and the community will be extremely pleased with that new rate. While I can't share with you exact numbers, last school year, we had 83.2% of our students district-wide that graduated in 4 years or less. And this year, I will tell you our graduation rate as a district has increased by more than 4 percentage points. So more than 87% of our students will have graduated within a 4-year period, and I think that's something we can celebrate as a community. That's all my report, Mr. Chairman. I thought I might get some applause out of a graduation like that. Congratulations to our staff and students. That's something that we all should celebrate.
Absolutely, absolutely. We look forward to hearing more about that. At this time, moving on to the architect's report, and I will call on Clark Pierce and Wesley Curtis and Mr. John Gray.
Thank you, Chad. We won't take long, just take a few minutes and just kind of give you a quick update. As you know, Clark and I have over the, past several months, kind of given you like a 30-day past report of what's been done, and also just kind of a projection into the future about what we're planning to do. Direct your attention toward the screen. The past 30 days, we've been meeting with both the administration and the staff, and you can kind of see here, in the picture, we've been meeting, just talking about furniture arrangement, the kind of equipment that's required to go in the various spaces, just kind of fine-tuning what is actually going to be in every space. This helps us kind of refine the size of the space and the arrangement of doors and windows and those kind of things. It's part of a process that we go through, and you can see we also spent some time going through some existing spaces. You can see here just to the right there. There's a need for storage and other things, obviously. So just kind of going through those spaces, documenting what those things are so we can plan for where they will be in the next building. Also, we continue to develop the plan. We're in design development, as you know. We'll continue to refine that plan, not only just the building plan, but also site plan. We've been working with our consultant and looking at field arrangements, combination of fields, the various support equipment that will be installed with the fields. So we're fine-tuning those. We've been working with our consultant, John Gray, who's been working with the site package, making sure we balance the site with the right kind of grading and with our field arrangements. And also, we presented the plan to the local building inspection. They've reviewed it. just in our schematic design, just to kind of make sure we're on track. We're seeing eye to eye on our presentation so that when we get to the end, we'll all be on the same page. Gray Engineering and Walter Robbs has just completed Phase 1 site grading package, as you're aware of. We received bids on those last Wednesday. John will talk a little bit about that later on. Moving forward, our goal will be, if you all move forward with awarding the Phase 1 site grading package, we will be supervising that work, continue to develop the design development drawings as we try to make sure we integrate the data, plumbing, mechanical, and electrical with those drawings and plans, and also as well as monitor costs. Again, just a big picture schedule. Our goal is to, around the middle of this month, to give the notice to proceed, if you all approve, for Phase 1 site grading. And again, we're still on track for having the building and Phase 2 site bid sometime the mid of or to late February of next year. So we're still on track time-wise with that. And at this point, what I'd like to do is turn it over to Mr. John Gray, who can talk a little bit about the bids.
Thank you, Wesley. As we reported to you at the last meeting, the project was advertised on August the 9th to the contracting community. A pre-bid conference was held on August 21st. Bids were received on August the 28th. 5 bids were received for the contract. The highest bid was $6,570,000, and the lowest bid was $2,632,000, which is within the $2.8 million estimate that is governing the project. The Eastern Structures LLC is a corporation owned and operated by Philip Shore. We know Philip Shore from Davy Grading, and Davy Grading is an excellent contractor. And that company has handled projects of this size many times and of this complexity many times for DOT, for other school systems, and for municipalities throughout North Carolina. Without any reservation whatsoever, we recommend them, and we've recommended award, Wesley and I, to the board of this contract to Eastern Structures LLC, which will be managed by Philip Shore, a longtime resident of Davie County, resident who many of you know. We are very, very glad that this has happened. Now, what we hope to do once the award is administered by the board and we go through the contracting phase under the direction of the attorney for the board is have a pre-construction conference and issue the notice to proceed. We hope to date the notice to proceed on the 15th. So Monday the 15th, then we will be asking that the contractor have equipment mobilized to the site and begin work. You can expect to see that initially there will be erosion control devices. It'll start kind of slow because the state rules require that we control the erosion from the site and that we do the environmental things. And we understand that they've made arrangements with the local contractor to help with that. And then gradually you will see things pick up on site as more and more equipment is mobilized, more and more earth is moved, because we will have done the environmental things to control that. We fully expect for the building pad to be ready by December the 15th, weather allowing. And we expect that the entire Phase 1 package will be completed in time to include the various graphic documents in the overall site package to finish it off with the building package as it's bid in February and then taken into construction in March and April. So at this point, I'll be happy to stand for any questions.
Do we have any questions? I would just like to thank the John Gray, Clark, and Wesley for all the hours and hard work you guys put into this to get us to this point. I think it's, you know, with bids under the estimate, it's a testament to the professionalism that we've hired here to do this work, and very pleased with that, and I couldn't be more pleased that we have a local company that's low bid, and that's just topped it off, frankly. But I'm really pleased that with where we are.
Mr. Chairman, I would echo your comments. I'm very excited that the project came in within the project estimate, and I think that's a testament to the professionalism of the people we have working on the project. I, too, am very excited that we have a local contractor, and the project dollars will stay in Davie County, so I'm excited about that. And also, I believe the history of this company is the family actually did the grading at North Davie Middle School when it was built over 30 years ago, so they're familiar with the site and the things going on there. Tonight, Board, we will ask you later in our agenda to consider approving this contract with the grading services to allow the chairman and the superintendent to enter into a contract. That will all be subject to auditing purposes, pre-audit, which requires us to have a project resolution from the county commissioners. The county commissioners are meeting right now, and the first item on their agenda is to address the funding for this project. So I am anticipating a text message or an email from the county attorney once those decisions have been made. So that will be an agenda item later in your agenda. So I thank John and Wesley and Clark for all your hard work.
Thank you, Dr. Hartness. At this time, we're moving on to student and staff recognitions, and first on the agenda, our presenter is Jenda Haynes, Teacher Assistant of the Year.
Greetings, Board Chair, members, and guests. It is my honor to recognize the 2014-15 Teacher Assistant of the Year. So I'd like to ask Andrea Cranfield to come on up and join me so that she can be in the spotlight while I talk about her. Andrea has served as a teacher assistant for 16 years, and she's currently at Pine Brook Elementary. She has been described by her colleagues as full of energy, creative ideas, and enthusiasm for students. She's willing to jump in head first, even when learning a new role and changing schools. She helps make learning fun. She learns and she caters to students' needs. She's a champion for students and their individuality, nurturing them and encouraging them that it's okay to be different. She's someone who helps inside the classroom, but also throughout the school at large. She's always willing to share and to help others and always trying to make the school a better place. You may also recognize Andrea because she's taken on many leadership roles. She served as the president of the Davie County Association of Teacher Assistants twice, as District 7 president twice, District 7 vice president, and District 7 historian twice. So she's a very busy lady. She's also active with both Autism Awareness and Special Olympics. But maybe most importantly, Andrea prides herself on staying positive as a teacher assistant, as a mom, and as a person, and making a positive impact on the world, and that she certainly does. So please join me in congratulating Andrea and thanking her for her positive impact that she makes each and every day. I'm gonna give you a few minutes. Do you need this? No?
On behalf of the board, we'd like to present you with this certificate.
Thank you so much.
For all you do.
Thank you all.
Congratulations. At this time, I will ask Ms. Dawn Baker to come up and present to us the North Carolina Child Nutrition Association's Heart of the Program State winner.
Chairman Fuller, Dr. Hartness, members of the board, and guests. I am delighted to present to you Ms. Jamie Juarez. She is coming to us from Davie County High School, where this has been her 7th year there, and out of those 7 years, I believe she's had perfect attendance almost every year. She was selected as the North Carolina Heart of the Program Award winner this year in our Greensboro State Conference. The School Nutrition Association recognizes its dedicated members at the state level, regional, and national level through this program. However, we only came home with the North Carolina Award winner, but this is our second we've had in the last several years, and we are very pleased that Jamie Juarez is representing North Carolina and Davie County schools. This award is the best of the best, and it's based on perfect attendance or excellent attendance, customer service, professional growth, training, and willingness to go the extra mile. And all of these encompasses everything that Jamie does for the students at the high school level every day. She comes with a grand smile. She knows many of the kids' numbers and their names even before they get to the line, knows what they want, has it, and has anticipatedly waiting there for them. She has decided to do some extra training and has become our PIC, our second PIC at the Davie High School. And she's just willing to go the extra mile and learn new things and do what is best for our students there. And I'm just real pleased that, again, to represent Davie County, Ms. Jamie Juarez.
Jamie, on behalf of the board, we thank you so much for your dedication to the students in our county. We congratulate you on this tremendous achievement, and we're so proud to have you in our school system. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jamie. At this time, I'll ask Ms. Noelle Grady-Smith to come up, and she's going to present the Governor's School participants to us.
Good evening, Chairman Fuller, Dr. Hartness, and board members. This is a unique opportunity to highlight some students who spent their summer in a very good way. These students were welcomed into a rather elite group, which is the Governor's School of North Carolina. I would like to call Joseph Brock Allen, Hampton D. Smith, Morgan H. Fuller, David L. Billings, and Madeline Voray up to the front. And then if you'll just stand right along here, I'm going to bring a microphone to you. I want people to know what you were accepted into the Governor's School for. So if you could just tell us your area and perhaps your grade level, that would be helpful.
I'm Brock Allen. I went to Governor's School for choral music and am a senior this year.
My name is Hampton Smith. I went for natural science, and I'm a senior as well.
My name is Lake Billings. I went for math, and I'm a senior.
My name's Morgan Fuller. I went for theater, and I'm a senior.
And we're missing one person tonight. We're missing Catherine Allison, who was in the dance department at the Governor's School. And she's not here tonight because she has her very first night of being a dance instructor and didn't want to miss that. So I would like you to think of these young people going out into the world after their senior year. We have a lot to be proud of here in Davie County. Thank you all.
It's a humbling experience to stand with these young children who have made a difference already in the lives of the people who are around them. I've known a few of you since you were little, and I am so proud. And I know your parents are proud, and your school's proud. And I know when you were at Governor's School, you did the very best, because you always do. Thank you for representing Davie County, and you have great things ahead for you. Congratulations from the board. Let's give them another round of applause. Yay.
Congratulations, guys. At this time, we are moving on to the consent agenda, and I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, I've got a motion by Ms. Owens. Need a second.
Second.
I've got a second by Mr. Junker. All right, Dr. Hartness, you have a comment?
Mr. Chairman, before you vote, the board does know that this includes an addendum, and I'd like to make that announcement at this point in time. The personnel agenda tonight does include an addendum. As you know, our Exceptional Children's Director has accepted another position in another state. She is retiring, and that left a vacancy for us. We had an outstanding pool of candidates for this position, and I'm very pleased to announce tonight that one of our own will be taking that position. Ms. Jennifer Custer is principal at North Davie Middle School. Jennifer was in the Exceptional Children's Classroom for 10 years before she became an assistant principal, and she has faithfully served as principal of North Davie Middle School since 2008. So we're very delighted to have Jennifer moving into a new role as our Exceptional Children's Director, and I'd ask you to join me in congratulating her. And Board, we will be looking for a replacement principal, but that will be later in the fall. Ms. Carol Cozart, who retired from Davie County Schools, will be coming and serving as the interim principal at North Davie Middle School through Christmas as we begin that search for a principalship.
Thank you, Dr. Hartness. Congratulations, Ms. Custer. At this time, we have a motion on the floor and a second. All in favor? Consent agenda carries 7-0. Moving on now to business items, and first on the agenda is the Rosenwald Memorial, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Hartness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On your board agenda, you have a business item labeled Rosenwald Memorial, and you have several pages in a PDF document that gives you an idea of a rendering of what a memorial might look like. If you recall, a couple years ago, we installed a Rosenwald plaque down in Coolamy, where the Rosenwald School was built there. And tonight we have as a guest Mr. Clyde Scott. Mr. Clyde Scott in the audience? There he is back in the corner. Mr. Scott came to me and talked with me about constructing memorial at Central Davie Academy, where that Rosenwald School was. And he has submitted to you for your consideration several renderings of what a memorial might look like. So my recommendation from the staff is that we allow this Rosenwald Memorial Plaque Committee, led by Clyde Scott Sr., to proceed with installing a memorial on that property that's owned by the Board of Education.
So at this time, we have a recommendation from Superintendent to move forward with the Rosenwald Memorial. Do we have a, could I get a motion?
It would be an honor to make that motion. It was very moving when we did go to Coolamy a couple years ago for the presentation there, and I think it would be an honor, so I would make that recommendation.
Okay. So we have a motion by Ms. Owens, and we have a second by Mr. Junker. Do we have any other comments? All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Next on the business agenda is the grading contract, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Hartness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. According to your agenda item, you have attached to this agenda item the certified bid tabulation that Mr. John Gray described a few minutes ago, outlining that Eastern Structures Incorporated here in Moxville was the low bidder for the rough grading project at $2.632 million, which is below the engineer's estimate of $2.8 million. You do have the bid tab. It includes the other contractors who submitted proposals. The staff recommends that the Board of Education accept this low bid and authorize the superintendent and the chair to enter into a contract with Eastern Structures Incorporated, continued upon funding by the Board of County Commissioners. I just received word from the County Commissioners that the funding was approved unanimously this evening. So I'd ask that you move forward with this project and this contractor.
Go ahead.
Dr. Hartness, I think you can answer this question, or you may have to call on some help. Throughout the process, starting out early with the award of this funding, do those items that are done at different sequences get paid as if they send in a bill for this part of the project, a bill for this, a bill for that, and they're paid? I'm not sure even how to ask you the question. Do you know where I'm going with this? The request to the commissioners was for X number of dollars. The bid came in for less than that. Is the amount of money that the commissioners lay out for just this piece the amount of that bid?
I was not in the commissioners' meeting when they voted a few minutes ago, so I don't know exactly what their motion and their project resolution looks like. But we would not send invoices to the commissioners for more than what was billed, and what would be billed is according to the contractor's low bid.
But generally speaking, the commissioner's only involvement in our construction should be to approve the project ordinance. Once it's approved, then what gets paid within that project ordinance is our decision. Which obviously would be no more than the bills. You know, just say, hey, while we're at it, we'll have more money, and we just be paying you. So you just send the bills. But once the project ordinance is approved, there's no more process. Although I think this is one of several project ordinances in the way we're bidding this, perhaps, or sending.
There will
this.
be another project ordinance after the main project is bid in February. Does that answer your question, Mr. Drexler? Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? So we have a recommendation to award the grading contract, or the rough grading contract, to Eastern Structures LLC. Do we have a motion? We have a motion by Ms. Livengood. Do we have a second? We have a second by Ms. Horn. Do we have any other discussion? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. Everyone in favor? Motion carries 7-0. At this point, we're moving on to an RFQ for geotechnical services. Dr. Hartness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attached to this board agenda item is a draft document. You're familiar, as we have selected architects before. We are required to send out an RFQ for geotechnical, construction testing, and special inspection services. This will be for the project that starts after Christmas. So essentially, you'll have a geotechnical firm, or you could have multiple firms actually working with this. The way this RFQ is written, we could select more than one firm to take care of these services. But there will be testing on the construction site, everything from concrete testing to grout testing to structural steel testing. All those services have to be taken care of during the construction project process. So this RFQ would work just like the ones we've done before. We would put out an RFQ and request qualifications from firms capable of doing these types of services. Then at some point in the near future, the Board of Education would have to select firms that you felt were most qualified to do these things based on their qualifications. So my recommendation is the board approve this draft RFQ for geotechnical services for the new Davie County High School.
I'm sorry. So we have a recommendation on the table to put this RFQ out for, I said, geotechnical services for special inspections in total. Do we have a motion? We have a motion by Mr. Drexler. Do we have a second? We have a second by Ms. Horn. Do we have any other discussion, comments? Okay.
I got two questions. I know we can't discuss price, but will the cost of this be included in the soft cost of the school, or is this something that's additional?
The cost of these services are included in the overall budget for the school already.
Okay, and I believe, and I may have heard you wrong, you said that this would be for after Christmas. So what about during the rough grading process? Do we have how will that be monitored?
The testing of the soil during this process is going to be overseen by the civil engineer, Mr. John Gray.
Have any other comments, questions? So we have a recommendation on the table to put this RFQ out. Do we have a motion? We have a motion by Mr. Drexler. Do we have a second? No, I'm sorry. I did. I apologize. Do we have a second? Oh, Wendy, I'm sorry. I'm lost here, folks. I apologize. All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. I apologize. At this point, we're moving on to public address to the board. Ms. Wilson.
Excuse me, I forgot to turn on my microphone. We have no one who would like to speak with us today, at least not publicly, perhaps quietly after the meeting.
Thank you, ma'am. At this point, we're moving on to committee and staff reports, and the first report is curriculum associated with summer camps. Ms. Noel Grady Smith.
Thank you, Chairman Fuller. I have attached for you, members of the board, a thorough description of every camp that we had this summer. What is the most striking component of this report is the number of times that my paragraph ends, "This camp was funded by a grant from the Davy Foundation." It's just amazing to me what support we get from our foundation and what that leads to in children's lives. Summer can be kind of an empty period in learning if we're not careful, but we've certainly stepped in and filled that gap. I also would like to report specifically on the Read to Achieve camp. We are asked to share public information regarding this camp, and I have some very good statistics to share with you. 72% of our students who were at the Read to Achieve camp, that's 48 out of 67 students, passed or showed growth in one of the areas, M-Class, Star Reader, TRC, or the Read to Achieve test. That is a monumental step for some of our children who are there. They grew in their confidence and they grew in their abilities, so we're very excited about that. 18% of the students met the Read to Achieve passing score of 139, or they met the LEA alternate test score for Star Reader or M-Class monitoring. 7 campers met or exceeded the passing score of 139. 7 more campers were very close, between 136 and 138. That's when it breaks your heart, when they're 1 point away. But actually, the amount of growth that they achieved is spectacular. 15 students scored between 131 and 135. We had very few who actually regressed in their scores, but we saw progress in their writing, and that wasn't measured. So it's interesting to see the positions of how they progressed. Parents were very vocal about their appreciation to the system and to the Mebane Foundation for providing us with extra funding to offer these children an exceptional opportunity. We had 16 wonderful, highly qualified teachers, and some of them may be in the audience tonight, in addition to our director, if we could recognize them. Tammy and Brenda. I'm not sure who else is here. And Misty. Very good. As in all of our camps, we have people who step up and give that extra time during the summer, and I congratulate everybody who is part of these efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Noel. I know that based on comments I've heard, the summer camp was a hit for sure with students and staff that helped. At this point, we're moving on to finance. Ms. Deborah Smith.
Thank you, Chairman Fuller, members of the board, Dr. Hartness. The first item I have this evening is the surplus property report. As you may recall, we're required to report this information to the board on an annual basis. Actually, we report semi-annually. We have a few items to report this month, and you'll notice board policy requires that all items over $2,500 be approved by the board prior to surplus sale. But as I seem to mention every time I share this report with you, we put a lot of our surplus equipment on govdeals.com, and at the time we put it out there, we're expecting to not receive more than $2,500. And again, in this case, we did receive $4,135 for a Freightliner bus, and obviously, we're very happy and surprised by receiving that much. So just to share that with you, it's not that we were trying to bypass the board by not having you know that this was going to be over $2,500. We just didn't know. So that is the surplus property report. And if it's okay, Chairman Fuller, I'll just move right on to the donations report. And you have the donations report, and you'll see that we did receive a few donations the past month, and they're there for your review. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, moving on to budget discussion. Dr. Hartness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I first want to thank our finance department and our payroll department for the monumental task they've had over the past month of interpreting, deciphering, and implementing the state budget as far as payroll. I will tell you that this payroll is probably the most manual process that they've ever experienced. They spend a lot of time and attention to detail to ensure that our employees are paid properly. The new salary schedules are very different. The elimination of longevity and the payout of that in 1 month was pretty huge. But they've worked diligently, and I want to thank you, Deborah, and your staff for ensuring our employees were paid correctly and on time. So we've had very few concerns about the payroll process, and that's huge. But now that we have everyone in the payroll system, and we can see now exactly how those salary changes and changes from the state have affected each of our budgets from the state, we need to pull together you guys and talk about the state budget in some more detail. So, Mr. Chairman, what I would like to do is request the Board of Education set a budget work session rather than a Budget and Finance Committee meeting, the entire board come together and us share the information with you about the state budget, where we are right now, give you an opportunity to ask some questions and give feedback.
That sounds good. Do we have, do you have any dates in mind, or do we, what do you guys think? I mean, we think in a week?
We could do this next week, it'd be great. If we
Okay.
could go and get it next week.
Okay.
Could I propose
Go
a
ahead,
time?
sure.
Would you all be available next Monday morning to do a budget work session?
Monday's tough for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't have anything else, I could, how long do you think it'll take?
Depends on how many questions you all have. It could take a little while. I mean, it could take an hour, hour and a half.
Well, do we want to shoot for, I mean, we'll try Tuesday, or what's everybody else's schedule look like? We can, I guess.
How
we can
about
get-
Wednesday? That's a good day.
What is the date, Wednesday?
The 10th.
The 10th?
What does everybody think about Wednesday? Yeah. Maybe 8:30 or 9.
Could do that. Yeah, I think we can. You can't be here Wednesday?
I could do.
You do Thursday?
Yep.
Are you all
I have to
available?
be back in Winsboro. I wanted to train principals, but if you do it in the morning, I can do any other day next week but
Is
Wednesday.
Thursday, would Thursday work?
That work? Carol?
September 11th at 8:30 a.m.
Okay, that sounds good.
We'll do that at our office.
Okay.
In the conference room, we can do that.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so 8:30 on the 11th. Okay, do we have any other discussion about that? We can get to that on the 11th.
We'll do our best to prepare documents
Okay.
and be prepared to talk about it on 8:30.
That sounds good.
I would prefer that we all talk about it together and there's not assumptions made before we have discussion. So I'd prefer that we bring it from there. And if there's additional information that's needed, we can gather that.
That sounds good. Okay, moving on to the facilities new high school groundbreaking date. Dr. Hartness.
We have polled the Board of Education and have found that the possibility of a groundbreaking ceremony at the new Davie County High School site on Thursday, September 25th at 4:30 p.m. seemed to work for folks. So the recommendation from staff would be that the board set that date and time for a groundbreaking ceremony.
Okay, that sounds good. Do we need to do we need to have a motion or just consensus, or does that, or are we all good with the 25th? I guess we were, so.
Okay, so we can officially announce that September 25th at
That's the
4:30
groundbreaking.
p.m. on the site of the new Davie County High School on Farmington Road, there will be a groundbreaking ceremony.
That sounds good. Okay. That's exciting. At this time, we're moving on to board comments, and I'll be honest with you, can't remember who's up. Is it Paul? Barbara? Barbara.
Wow, groundbreaking, September the 25th. Sends cold chills. It finally is going to happen, and that is the most exciting news I think we can have, other than the graduation rate. That is two great things in one night. And of course, the students standing before us was also a grand thing. This school year is going to be a red letter year. I can see it already. At Convocation in August, it was amazing to see every face just smiling there. And I want to thank all the educators, bus drivers, maintenance people, food services, everyone who makes things happen for Davie County Schools. Thank you each again for being here, and thank you for believing in Davie County Schools. And to quote Dr. Harkness, great things are happening and are happening as we go forward. Thank you so much for coming.
I just want to thank each one of you for coming out tonight, and I know there's a lot of principals sitting out there. So, based on what Dr. Hartness said, school got off to a good start. We're real pleased with that. I now have 3 grandchildren in the Davie County schools at 3 separate schools, Pine Brook, Shady Grove, and Ellis. But anyway, but since this meeting went so short, I'm not going to talk so long. Thank you.
Well, it's been a great way to begin the year. Lots of celebrations tonight, and we're always glad to see as many people here as we can. We appreciate everybody being here. Yes, to the principals, I hope this has been a good couple of weeks here. Mr. Scott, I'd like to thank you personally for taking that role and that site and honoring that great event. So I appreciate you doing that, and certainly I'm sure Gladys has been a part of picking that out as well. But I'm looking forward to a wonderful year. Can't wait for the groundbreaking. That's going to be exciting, and I'm going to yield the rest of my minutes to Mr. Junker.
That won't take long. I just real quickly, I'm excited about actually breaking ground. It's just extremely excited. As Chairman Fuller said, it was really exciting that the money's going to stay local. Dr. Hartness talking about that. I mean, that's great. It'd be great if it can stay that way. We thanked a lot of people in the process. Thank the engineers, thank the architects, everything. I want to make sure that we thank our staff, the amount of work and that goes a lot of times behind the scenes when putting that stuff together. Again, as my dad says, things don't happen accidentally. And whenever we come back in and we're 200,000 below projected, there's going to be a lot of bumps in the road ahead of us. I'm not trying to say that we're going to be that way on every little thing, but when things like that happen, I just want to make sure that the staff, Dr. Hartness, Chairman Fuller, thank goodness for your background and the position that you're in. It's really worked out well so far, but just wanted to thank you guys as well. So, good night.
I'm not sure that there's much that I can add. I'm excited to know that school year's off to a good start, and it's lots of good things are on the horizon. So thanks to everyone for coming out. Good night.
They said it all. Very good. Mr. Scott, thank you. Architects, engineers, thank you. Staff, administration that's been working on that whole project to keep it cooperatively headed in the direction where we're going. I'll be like Steve. I'm done.
Wow. It is. I am impressed. I am impressed. I'd just like to thank everyone for coming out, congratulate everyone that was recognized, and there's a lot of hard work, obviously above and beyond this new project that we have coming up. But I say this all the time, it's a testament to who Davie County is. It clearly, this room, the stars in our community shine here every month, and I think it's uplifting and heartwarming to see folks in our community that work in the school system, that come in and participate and help, and again, it takes a village. And I want to thank everybody for coming. And at this time, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. We have a motion to adjourn by Ms. Horn. Do we have a second? We have a second by Ms. Livengood. All in favor of adjourning? We're adjourned.